We are going to be doing a review of EFT, emotional freedom techniques, and I will refer to it as tapping. So EFT is the acupressure point tapping technique that can help us release unhelpful, unhealthy feelings. Now, all feelings may be normal and natural: anger, sadness, frustration, guilt, shame. But if we're feeling those feelings at an intense level over a period of time, it can be debilitating. It can be toxic to our life. So tapping is a great way to release these unhealthy, unhelpful, negative feelings. So we're going to look at 4 steps. The first step is to identify and rate our unwanted feeling. So we need to know what it is that we're feeling. Sometimes that's difficult to put an objective label on a subjective thing, but do the best that we can. And then once we know what we're feeling, let's say it's frustration for this example, and I'm feeling frustrated about work tasks. I have several things to do, not enough time. I'm feeling. So we know it's frustration, and now we want to rate how strong is that frustration from a 0 to a 10. A 0 literally means I'm not experiencing any frustration at this moment. 1 is very little. 2, yeah, I know it's there. 3, that's where it starts to affect me. My thinking, interfere with my daily life. So I always say if it's a 3 or higher, let's get rid of it. Let's tap it away because it's unhelpful. And of course, 4, 5, 6 are those middle levels, and 7, 8, 9, 10 is that very intense experiencing of frustration to where I can't focus. I have, it feels like blinders on, where I just see things that are frustrating me. I'm feeling that, and I'm not able to see the bigger picture. And that's what intense emotions can do for us. So, as I said, step 1 is to identify and rate our unwanted feeling. Step 2, we're going to do the setup phrase. So what we do is we take one hand. I'll use my left hand to mirror most right-handed folks, but you can use either hand. You reach across and find your collarbone. You go about 2.5 inches down, and you press with 2 fingers and rub in a circle. And you're going to say the setup phrase. So repeat after me. Even though I feel this frustration, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Good. We'll say it 3 times. 2 more. Even though I feel this frustration, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I feel so frustrated at work, at having too many things to do and not enough time, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. So that's completing step number 2. Step number 3 is we are going to tap on 9 acupressure points, and we're going to start with the top of our head. The points you'll notice go from the top down. So top of the head, crown of the head, and tapping. And we tap firmly at each point, and we tap at a rate of tap, 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 tap. And we say the words, my feeling. So in this case, I'm working on frustration. So I'll say my frustration. Point number 1. Point number 2, inside eyebrow point. My frustration. And think about work. Think about what it is that's creating this frustration or this unwanted emotion. Side of eye is point number 3. It's on the ridge of bone right outside your eye socket in front of your temple. Tapping. My frustration. Now, partway down, I like to change my terminology from my frustration to this frustration, because these feelings are truly not a part of us. and we can let them go. Next point, under eye, it's 1 inch below the eyeball, right on the cheek, and say the words, "This frustration." Next point, under nose, "This frustration." Crease of your chin, "This frustration." Next point is the collarbone. Here we're going to use 4 fingers. We're going to put our pinky below the notch in our sternum, spread out our fingers, tuck in our elbow, and drum. Boom, 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 boom. And say the words, "This frustration." The next point is underarm. So you find the center of your armpit and you drop down 4 inches and dig in to your ribs. It'll look like this from the front. This good for nothing frustration. The final point, point number 9, is the karate chop. It's the pinky side edge of your hand in between your pinky knuckle and your wrist, right in the middle. Very important point. Tapping nice and firm, and say what you feel. This good for nothing, overwhelming frustration. Good. Now we're going to put our hands down, relax. We'll move on to step number 4, the final step. And that is to re-rate our feeling following a deep and cleansing breath. So breathe with me in through our nose. Shoulders back, chest out, fill both lungs fully. Pause and release through your mouth. Good. Again, we'll repeat that part of the step. Deep and cleansing breath in through our nose. Filling both lungs fully. Pause. And when you're ready, release that frustration. Good. Now the second part of step 4 is to re-rate your unwanted feeling. So let's say at the beginning I rated my feeling of frustration and I felt I was quite high. I was a 7. It was dominating my thought process. It was affecting my interactions with other people in my life. Now I just relax and think of the frustration and re-rate it. Quite honestly, I did have some frustration, but I feel that it is gone. And gone means it's a 0. Now, it doesn't mean I don't have work tasks or responsibilities. I have a lot of things on my plate today and tomorrow and the next day and the upcoming week. Facilitating another retreat in New Mexico following my wife's next surgery. So I have a lot going on. That's reality, but it's not stressing me out or frustrating me right here, right now. So to accurately rate my feeling, it's a 0. Do I have responsibilities? Are there tasks and things I have to prepare for? There are, but they're not weighing on me. They're not stressing me out. They're responsibilities, but there's no negative of feeling, overwhelming feeling, frustrated feeling attached to those responsibilities as I stand here right now. So that is the complete procedure, the 4 steps. I will review very quickly to show that we can do the tapping technique in 1 minute. So when we say we don't have time to do it, we're not being accurate. If you sit down on the toilet sometime during the day, you can do tapping while you sit down. If you can drive and safely tap, you can tap while driving. Many people, including my wife, if she's frustrated, angry, sad, worried, she'll hit the steering wheel with the karate chop point and she'll just talk it out. Even though I feel worried about what's going to happen later today, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Okay, so the 4 steps, I'm going to say I'm feeling sad and I'm a 5, and I will begin. Step 1, I identified the feeling of sadness. I rated it a 5. Now I'm going to do the setup phrase. Step number 2, 2.5 inches below my collarbone with 2 fingers. pressing and massaging in a circle. Even though I feel this sadness, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I feel sad, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I feel sad, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. That's the setup phrase. Step 3 is to start with the tapping. My sadness. My sadness. My sadness. My sadness. I'll change it to this sadness. This sadness. This sadness. This sadness. This sadness. Final point, karate chop. This sadness. Step 4, take a deep and cleansing breath in through our nose, out through our mouth. And simply re-rate our feeling of sadness. I started at a 5 for this demonstration. I feel no sadness. I'll rate it at a 0. So thank you for listening. Please do use EFT. You can use it in the morning every day. You can use it in the evening every night. And then you can use it as needed. If you have any questions, you likely have my email and or phone number. Give me a call and stay healthy.